Hello mathematicians, we are going to be looking at factors versus multiples today and see what they both do for us. So factors of 8. So factors are smaller than 8, and you can see this little infographic I've made down here. Here's our number 8. Well, factors are smaller. The word factor is smaller to help us remember that factors are parts of 8, and we'll see how they connect. And multiples are going to be numbers that are going to be larger than 8 because we either skip count to get those bigger numbers or we use multiplication to get those bigger numbers. But multiples are larger than the number we're looking at, and factors are going to be small portions of the number we're looking at. So let's take a look at the number 8. And we talked about pro tip is listing numbers that go up to halfway or a little touch over halfway of the number we're looking at here. And then we can look at those. So every number has 1 as a factor. Factors are just numbers that go in evenly, divide into other numbers evenly, and 1 is always going to divide into a number evenly. So 1 is a factor of all numbers. 2 is a factor of 8 because it's an even number. 4 is a factor of 8. I skipped over 3 because it will not divide evenly into an 8. And then, of course, the last factor is always going to be the number itself. 8 goes into 8 evenly once. 1 goes into 8 evenly at 8 times. 2 goes into 8 evenly at 4 times. And 4 goes into 8 evenly at 2 times. And for most numbers, we're going to get these factor pairs. So it'll kind of give you a way to see if you caught all the numbers. 1 times 8 is 8. 2 times 4 is 8. Some numbers have a lot of factor pairs as you list them. They do have to be in number order for this to work. And then we want to talk about the exception to that is going to be numbers like 25. For instance, the factors of 25 are going to be 1, 5, and 25. Those are the numbers that go in evenly, divide evenly into 25. And of course, the reason that we don't have a factor pair here, we have one here, 25 times 1 is 25, is that it is 5 times 5 that gets you 25. So we only have to list that once, and that's why that's like that. So now multiples of 8, we're going to be talking about numbers that are larger than 8. And we're going to get those numbers by either skip counting or multiplying. So the skip counting is that we would skip count by 8s. So 8 and then 8 more is going to give us a 16, and adding 8 more is going to give us a 24, and adding 8 more is going to give us a 32, and then it would go on from there. If we're talking about multiplying to get these multiples, we just think of 8 as being 8 times 1, and then you would go ahead and do 8 times 2 for your second number, and then you would do 8 times 3, and then 8 times 4. Both ways work. We know that multiplication is just repeated addition, so both of these ways will work and get the job done. All right, so now we're at check and correct. This is your chance to try your skill on your own and then come back to the video and see how you did as you compare your work to my work. Okay, we'll see you in a minute or two. Okay, so if you took the pro tip, then you probably knew to give yourself numbers to half or a little more than half of this number. In this case, it's an even number, so we'll just do half. And then we're going to look at these numbers. 1 is always a factor. 20 is an even number, so 2 is a factor. 3 will not be a factor. 4 is a factor. It does go evenly into 20. So does 5. It divides evenly into 20. 6 does not. 7 does not. 8 does not. 9 does not. But 10 does. And of course, the final factor is always the number itself. So there we have 20. And again, we can look at these factor pairs. 1 times 20 is 20. 2 times 10 is 20. And 4 times 5 is 20. Now, if we're looking at the multiples of 20, of course, these are the numbers that are going to get larger than 20. So we can skip count, we can multiply. 20 and another 20 is 40, and another 20 is 60, and another 20 is 80, and we could keep going from there, or we can think of it as 20 times 1, 20 times 2, 20 times 3, and 20 times 4. So hopefully you got those problems correct. And what's left now is to work on your own while the math is all fresh in your mind. And so try these two problems, see how you do. Get all the factors of 15 and then do 4 of the multiples of 15. And as always, thank you for advocating for yourself and watching this video to improve your skills. And peace, love, and pie to all. Thank you. Bye-bye.